I get it. I wrote the song in a second and there ain't nothing I can't do. It's all just whatever and I'm biotic. I'm shepherd. I dig up all of the treasure and you were all little heathers. I pull up, follow your pedal. Follow your pedal. You need to stop and get clever. Follow your pedal. Pedal, 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 pedal.
Welcome, everybody, to the Breachers preseason week number 2. My name is Nightfire with 2 E's. I am your sole conductor in today's journey into the Breachers sphere. We are going to get a look at 2 teams hoping to improve on a rough start to their preseason in week 1, both suffering I would say substantial losses, 20 to 3, I think, in the case of Juice, and 18 to 7 in the case of Fruitality. I could have those numbers mixed up. But 2 teams coming off of losses. Fruitality actually tying with Virtual Assassins, but losing to BS Esport. Yeah, 21 to 5. I was close. They did a challenge this last Saturday, went 15 and 17, again in that tie with Virtual Assassins. In comparison, Team Juicy S coming off of the loss against Kermit, they are down. They lost that 21 to 2. So, after a tough loss, we're going to see what this Team Juice team can do. They had that match broadcast, so they were able to look back on that footage and kind of analyze, what can we improve on going into our next matchup in week 2. And they're definitely going to get a test here with the Fruitality squad. The roster consisting of Frosty, Sam Sambers, Mundin, Echo, and Spionin. And I know Frosty has solid experience playing VRML leagues competitively. They've played in Onward. They're a mod currently for Breachers. They've invested a lot of time playing in Breachers. And so I do expect Fruitality to put up a pretty good challenge against Team Juice this afternoon. We also have another matchup that is being played out this afternoon. Kermikaz and the Happy Camper. Kermikazi, and the Happy Camper. They are battling it out at this exact moment, but we don't have that broadcast live, so we will see potentially if we can jump into that series, mid-series, depending on how this one shakes out between Fruitality and Team Juicy. Yes, if you did tune in with us yesterday at 6 p.m. PST, we had several matches that we jumped into over the course of what was a nice 2-hour broadcast. So we may do that again this afternoon. It looks to me like Juice is in the process of trying to bring in a 5th onto their roster. Right now they have Kalala Girl, which I believe is going to be a sub. Yeah. Oh no, they're on their roster. Kalala just not representing the Juice JUCE tag in front of their name, but they are on the Team Juice roster. And we're just waiting on the 5th from Team Juice before we get ready to jump into our first map of the afternoon, which I believe is going to be... Yeah, it does look like they're looking for a sub on the Juice side because they don't have a 5th right now. One of their players had a last-minute drop. So hopefully we can get that 5th in for Juice. The sub could definitely be solid to be bringing in here. Someone that obviously hasn't played on the roster of Team Juice. And maybe if you're tuning in, you don't even know what you're stopping by for. This is VRML. This is Breachers. It is a 5 versus 5 search and destroy style FPS in VR, where these players are trying to destroy or defuse bombs while the one team is defending, the other is attacking. And we'll go over more of the format once we start to get into the rounds of each map. But we play 3 maps. The team that wins the most maps wins the series. When you win in VRML, you go up in rank in the regular season ladder. When you lose, you go down in rank. At the end of a season, we have a tournament where we take the top 8 teams in the ladder and pitch them up against each other. The top 3 teams qualify in for prizes that come in from our sponsors. The prize pool of Season 1 has yet to be announced, but we certainly are working up a nice prize pool contributing in from our sponsors, which do include ProTube VR, HyperX, and Triangle Factory contributing in. And yeah, they are going to be jumping in to round 1 in about 5 minutes' time. They are still looking to fit in that 5th over on the Juice roster. You definitely don't want to have to go in bot in hand, but you can do it. The bot, not ideal as a companion on your roster. They're okay. They can play the game all right, but they're obviously not able to coordinate with the team. You can't communicate with them. I think you can use some of their economy, but overall, the newest feature that's been enabled with Breachers, the ability to take over bots, I do believe is disabled, or at least not allowed within the confines of VRML matches. So they don't want the bot. It's not going to be a solid option in comparison to the 5 of Fruitality. And again, like I said, Fruitality, a team that I feel like is maybe just starting to get their footing, considering how they have been playing in these last two matchups that they have had. That tie in their second matchup of the preseason, it's an indicator that they are trying to develop as a team. And it really just takes a couple of games to kind of figure out, okay, this is sort of the standard meta. We don't want to explore outside of this and, stick to Spectrals and Tauruses and try and get the Vezins. But, we've seen, to be honest, a bit of a shakeup in meta just off of the Cyclone adjustments because, like we've seen in our last 2 series, big SMG buys coming in. Last series from teams that paid off big, with the RCP buys in particular doing very well for some of these teams. And then we also have seen the Taurus being bought in, a pistol being bought in assault rifle rounds and full buy rounds instead of the assault rifle to help their team with economy. So we are seeing some new things starting to kind of develop and show their face just after a little bit of shift in the meta, a little patch that came out just a couple of days ago this week. And so it's exciting to know that small adjustments like that can ultimately impact the meta in such a substantial way. And already seeing so many teams experimenting, trying to figure out what the new best path forward is going to be. And looks like we are about ready to get into our first round here. Again, Team Juice still trying to find that 5th, but for now, likely going to be diving in with a bot unless they have found a sub, and that sub is coming in. Otherwise, I do appreciate everyone hanging out and tuning in and patiently waiting for the start of this series and hearing me ramble on. But yeah, we really do appreciate you. And if you do want to get involved in Breachers VRML, you can check that out over at vrml.com/breachers. That has all the links to everything you need that will, such as Twitter, Twitter, YouTube, social media links, as well as a link to the Discord so you can interact with the rest of the community. Sign up for a team. Maybe Team Juice ES is recruiting another for their roster so they don't have this issue when it comes time for match time. But yeah, there's plenty of new teams looking for players and plenty of experienced teams looking for players that have been putting in time into the game of Breachers. So if you're also experienced in the game of Breachers, do please check out the league. I think we're over 100 teams now. I'll have to check where we're at the start of the week on Monday. But we've seen new teams continuously coming in over the courses of these last 2 weeks, and it's really exciting to see so much hype within the Breachers community for this game. What I'm going to do, though, while we have the time, is reach out to the other team that's playing and see if we can be ready to jump between series if we so choose. That may require a little bit of brain power on my end, but yes, it does look like we are going to jump in to the series. A 5v4 for round 1. Fruitality starting things off already with a bit of an advantage, as you do see that bot coming in on the side of Juice. Not exactly what they were hoping for, but we are seeing full Cyclone buys on the side of Fruitality. In comparison, full Spectral buys on the side of Juice, including the bot. Everyone buying into that Spectral. And we're seeing some interesting attempts at trip mine placement. Frosty does have one. They also have another one from No Spawn. So a couple of trip mines getting placed up here on potential entry points. Door blockers up, and so pretty much full buys on the side of Fruitality to kick things off, not saving too much of that 900 starting cash. 500 into the Cyclone. Utility costing anywhere from 200 to 300, 350. So definitely investing in the defensive setup here. And everyone pretty much tucked in around A and B. I don't think... Oh, they do have one roaming on the outside. The bot still on the roof, but Munden way over in the opposite corner, trying to play a little off-meta position and potentially eventually rotate around through the control room, through the newsroom, and if they're fortunate, find the back of the trio that's slowly working their way up towards B. There's actually a couple of paths that they can take, and they may actually find the long hallway wide open if Bosch and Cheese don't continue to move. And oh no, there's the swing from Frosty. Scoops up one. Quinn and Bosch are here. But Frosty, after the kill, instantly drops back. Munden does finally pop out and scoops one up there down the long hallway. Quinkst is getting pinched as the bot comes to support from the stairs. Munden quickly finds that kill, and it's information for Quins to work off of. The Cyclones working well for Fruitality in round one. Oh, and Quinn just barely crouched down enough to where Munden didn't have that line of sight over the top of the stairs. Kalala on the other side, trying to figure out the best way to break through here. Maybe he heard the footsteps of Munden sprinting just on the other side of the hall. They do break through this window. They may... Yeah, Sam is here and waiting. As soon as that goes down, Sam is on the stairs. Munden also watching through the window, and so it's going to be a tough entry point for them. Getting pinged. Frosty also rotating around. Everyone here waiting for Koala to try and push through the window. There's also a trip mine. Very much waiting, but like we heard from Filibust the other day, you can really hear these trip mines when you get close, as you can hear that hum of the trip mine. And Kalala doesn't want to stall too much longer. You don't want to sit in this courtyard. There's plenty of windows that they can rotate around to and peek out. And Sam is going to check, and they'll find the kill. Not before Quinn does scoop up one on the long way. Tries to reinforce, and Munden's there. It's going to be 2 kills into the hands of Juice, but 3 left alive for Fruitality, and they take round number 1, go up 1-0 on this map. See what the buy phase looks like for Juice. A couple of Vipers coming in, but ultimately Cheese and Bosch going to save, it looks like. I am already seeing, though, Juice getting to the setup phases much earlier than they have. Even in that last series that we watched them, they aren't necessarily spending too much time getting into position. Right now, they would still be getting set up, as everyone is essentially here, ready to breach through the window as a trio, get control of this upper floor, maybe plan a hatch play. As the bot just pushes right into A. Viper in hand, not afraid to challenge. Gonna be right up onto Spionin, and there's the shotgun to the face of the bot. Does a little bit of damage, though, and I suppose that's the relative net positive. Costs a heal charge if they decide to use it, but also does give a Viper into the hands of one of the Fruitality defenders, who otherwise were just going to be using Cyclones. A eco round for them. We are at the first floor AB rooms. These rooms pretty tough to defend in my opinion. The double breach door has really opened the B objective up, and you have the hatch drop down that becomes an option. A, I feel like very rarely pushed, but it does happen. Bosch catches one with the Spectral Spion and was trying to peek out with the shotty through the big door. Getting a little over-aggressive on the Fruitality side. Team Juice doing a nice job to keep control of this. And eventually are going to be working their way up towards A, interestingly enough, although I don't think anyone has breaching foam. So they're not going to be able to make it through those walls, and Cheese Mod is going to be the one that's going to have to push in towards objective. Trade towards objective as they peek out. Bosch just outside the window, very little health, and we still don't see Cheese breaching through that window. Could have been a big moment for them as No Spawn does get rid of Bosch's remaining health. And Cheese Mod does make their way into B, but look at that, the trip mine right through the center. I gotta wonder if Cheese sees that there. And if they do, if it stopped them. Because Frosty quickly peeks out to find the kill. There's no utility to be scooped up. And so Fruitality, with, again, only 3 left alive, do take round 2. We now go into what I would say our first full buy round right here. You can see that both Bosch, Cheese, Kalala all have enough to buy into any weapon, really, of their choice. Whether it's a Vezin or, as we've seen here, a Kitted Omen with a couple of utility pieces, like a Breaching Foam and a Health Syringe. High fives all around, though, as Team Juice gets ready to push in with Bot Xavier leading the charge. Still not able to get that 5th, unfortunately, in for Team Juice, and that's got to be impacting their ability to kind of push in on this Fruitality squad. They are still, though, getting those kills, and so I am seeing an improvement on the Juice side from round to round. Also them ecoing to get more cash into round 2, definitely smart. But I still think they're a little too slow on their entries. I think if a bot is the one that's leading your team on the pushes, it could be kind of bad news. Xavier does get identified and does catch Frosty down the long hallway, but the Vezin will scoop up that kill. If only there was another player like Cheese to support the bot, they could have had the shots over the top on Frosty. Bot could even still be alive at this point. There is an RCP down, though, for Cheese Mod to scoop up if they do so choose. The proximity sensor giving good info for Frosty and anyone that wants to check this door. Shots come down the long stairway from Quinn to catch Frosty out. Finally destroying the proximity sensor, and I think Cheese sees the RCP on the ground there, available to scoop up and essentially continue their push. Four v 4 though, big pickup on a Frosty down the long haul. Kalala and Bosch rotating to the other side while Quinn comes up to support Cheese. And a risky peek out there that almost catches a bullet or two. It really is the full eco round, essentially, except for Bosch. Everyone buying into Spectrals. The Vezins are going to come out. Sam getting aggressive for 1 kill, but it's a 1-for-1 trade. That's a net positive for Juice in terms of taking down a Vezin with just a Spectral. I think it's wise for Cheese to drop off this and allow Kalala and Bosch on the other side of the map to do some work. Kalala is going to break the door. Eventually, Bosch takes it down, and A could be the entry point. And as Kalala tries to spring in their trap after patiently waiting, they'll go down. Cheese goes down. A couple of shots, though, go over the top of Spionin and Nospawn, doing some good damage from Bosch. They are getting flanked, though, and as they try and push in, a little bit of lag there, it seems, or at least on our spectator side. Bosch then drops back and is able to avoid potentially being killed as the time ticks down and the round goes into the hands of Fruitality. They'll catch another kill. It's a double. Fruitality trying to get aggressive and push down Bosch through the stairs, costs them their lives. That's a big double kill, honestly, for Juice. It puts money into Bosch's hands. They have the Omen still, so they have 3,700. Now they can get utility. Full Vezins all the way from Juice, with Cheese, Quinn, and Kalala buying in, and that bot still picking up into an RCP, which we have seen do some good damage so far. So Juice may have a way back in on round number 4, and we really did see at this stage was when teams did try, eventually kind of switch the momentum up, at least yesterday. This is when we would see swaps in momentum right around this moment just because of the eco. You're seeing a full buy now from Juice. Last round, they didn't even full buy, but we're seeing Vezins, utility, breaching, grenades, flashes. It's all here. And I'm curious to see if Juice can execute now and utilize all this utility effectively. That's the real challenge at this stage. They've gotten to this point, economically wise, where they can buy into a very solid, kitted out team. They don't want to squander any of it. Second floor in their control. The hatch play ready for B. So they're also going to breach A as well, so both hatches opened up. No spawn catches the bot, so not a big kill considering. And actually it was a trip mine that catches the bot. Frosty, the only one home at A, and Kalala Girl picking up some aggressors as Spionin rotating around up on that top floor. Trying to catch the hatch play, I think. And it's definitely heavy. Their presence is heavy on the hatch with Quinn and Bosch up on that upper floor drawing attention. But if Munden's not careful, they're sitting in a doorway. I suppose they have a door blocker to protect them. That'll give them information if that goes down, and then they can peek that corner. But definitely seems like it's going to be Cheese Mod that needs to get through into this objective side, and I don't know they know how to do it. Bosch finds another through the hatch. Sam goes down. No spawn finds Quinn. Utility coming in as smokes go down. This could be the indicator for the push. No spawn catches Cheese Mod outside, trying to push through off of the smoke. And it's just a little out of sync. Kalala and Bosch are not pushing the hatches while the rest of the team was pushing the front door. Could have been big. Could have caused some rotations. No spawn would have been thrown off there. So close to a solid play from Juice, but not quite all there. 3 left alive for Fruitality as they hold things down now. Bosch drops down right into the heat of it, catches Frosty. They got to be aware of the door blocker to their left as no respawn pops out and Kalala goes down. No respawn finds the double over the top of Kalala. Jumps through the door blocker. A big play. That could have been the take on B. Munden would have had to retake. They could have had an EMP plant for 200. So close to snagging round 4. But it goes into the hands of Fruitality, and Juice putting up a solid contention here on the offense, honestly. And they have their 5th in lobby now, so the bot finally gone. That may be the little element they need to kind of come together a little bit stronger as a team. Bosch gets support instead of Xavier roaming alone, giving free kills, which is cash, and resources into the hands of the opponent. So ultimately it is a very substantial add to have the 5th in for Team Juice. I suspect that in the case of map number 2, we may see a very different Juice team. And they're not quite out of this yet. If they can grab these 2 rounds, then there is the chance that if they can even get 1, there's a chance that they can win this map. Cheesemod nearly goes down as the rest of the team pushes in from the bottom floor. Oh, Syringe is in hand, and Cheesemod does manage to get past the windows before Spionin can find the kills. Cheese is going to continue to challenge. Shotgun in hand, of all things, too, so not exactly a long-range weapon on those peaks. Klala has breached through, though, and does go down the long hallway as No Spawn is there. Quinn may be able to peek the corner and catch 1 or 2 here if they're fortunate, but No Spawn is watching the long hallway and protecting from the pinch. Drone's out, gets information. Quinn's going to peek off of that information, and that could cost him as No Spawn pops out. Spionin, excuse me, nearly goes down with the fight to Quinn. Pings come in to Spionin's location, and double nades down to Ooh. Cheesemod also here with the incendiary blocking the path forward. The smoke actually helping and getting the Vezin off of a downed opponent. They're going to have to get up on the stair to prevent No Spawn from challenging. And if No Spawn's not careful, they could swing out for the kill here on the stairs. No Spawn does jump down. Ooh, and maybe end up going behind Ooh through the stairs. If Ooh can peek out, you have Spionin and Sam so out in the open there for at least a moment, but they are playing things slow and cautiously on their approach here. Can't blame them. And honestly, they should save right here. No reason to push into 5 alive. Holding on to that Vezin could have paid a little bit more dividends cash-wise because you have Bosch and Klala who will be getting Vezins. So if Ooh had one, that's 3 Vezins, 2 of your teammates buying into utility and SMGs. It's a pretty substantial it's 2,900 plus. Really, it's like 3,100 that you're holding on to cash-wise. Maybe they were trying to do that by rotating back, but either way, a nice attempt, and Fruitality continues to barrel forward here on their defensive rotation. 5 rounds in a row. If they can grab 6, then all Juice can hope to do is tie by taking all 6 on their defensive side. And on this map, we do like to point out that defense tends to have the advantage. It is harder to win the attacking rounds on Skyscraper in most cases simply because of the setups, the breaching points, that sort of thing. Drone is out and instantly shot by Munden. That's a tough pill to swallow. Klala is not going to challenge that window, though, after instantly getting their drone shot down, and instead takes the right choice here up to this upper floor. They can breach down into some hatches towards A and be a little bit of a threat. Interesting there. Spionin's defensive smokes to rotate or potentially prevent Cheesemod from pushing in through the window. And Spionen catches kills, blind firing through the smoke. The hatch is breached, and Quinn goes down from Sam defending it. Drone comes out and is instantly shot. Almost no information for U to collect. And if anything, they have to worry about the potential flank. As U does get Sam. Comes alive on the scoreboard. Second round in the lobby. Like I said, they really need this one. If they can grab 1 point here, they have the potential to take the map. Oh, and Spionen almost catches him on that off tight angle there. They do drop back to the doorway, though, and Spionen is looking for the fight through the hatch. Other doorway breached, and Spionen gets punished for challenging. Ooh, doing very nice with that oral. 2 Vezins and full ARs for the rest of Juice in this 3v3. They really could take this round. The drop down into A is going to be rough, though, with Frosty and Munden both in there. Ooh, and Bosch just pops down. No spawns there. Bosch finds that kill. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Forces the rotation from Munden. They didn't have the simultaneous drop. That could have maybe paid off because it would have been a 1v1 with Frosty. Either way, it's a 2v2 now. Oh, and Frosty with just a slice of their head peeking up. Goes down. 10 seconds left. They barrel it forward. Munden's there on the corner, and it's 2 left alive for Fruitality to take all 6 on the defensive side. Economies reset, and we swap sides. Team Juice now defend for 6 rounds. If they can, they'll tie map 1. And with U back in lobby, their chances at least look better. They certainly do look a lot better than they did in their first matchup up against what I would say is a top team that we're expecting at least to be a top team in the regular season in VRML. But Fruitality are just 1 or 2 notches ahead of them. It is a pretty close matchup ultimately this afternoon here, and Fruitality is doing a nice job of continuing to battle, stay focused, and ultimately find 6-round wins in a row on defense. They're looking for a pistol round here. A little bit of saving going on as there's not utility on everyone's pockets, but they do have a breaching foam and a smoke, so there is a play in mind, I would imagine, coming in from Fruitality. Long hallway angle uncovered. Ultimately, it is a tucked-in defense around objectives. Static emitters are out. And I wonder where the breach is going to come. Quinn finds one through the window, the doorway. There's another fight there, but the reload coming in from Sam. They'll peek out after the reload. And Bosch will find the refrag. It's a 1-for-1. The breach comes in. No respawn. Takes big damage from a trip mine they actually back into. Nearly going down. Munden finds a kill. Frosty finds one. No respawn. Scoops one up. And it's just Kalala, who is on a big flank. If they can make this work, they can come into the side of this trio. They've got all 3 of them. 2 low on health and Frosty at full. But an EMP plant's coming in. That's 200 into the pockets. Not that it matters much if they win this round. They take map 1. And Kalala's so close. There's 1. There's 2. And we're into the 1v1. The retake. Onto objective with Frosty defending. There's Frosty over the top, and Kalala doesn't take a lot of damage. Has 2 entry points that have been opened up. Peeks out to catch almost Frosty. Oh my goodness. Both players down to slivers of health, and Frosty takes the win. Takes the map. They go up 7-0 off of map 1. And ultimately a pretty good battle from Juice. It was just, again, joining a second, maybe 2 rounds too late. If they could have had them also at the start of the series, it would have been big. But hey, you can get what you get. And ultimately a solid win into the pockets of Fruitality for map 1. I do got to try and get more replays. I've been bad with the replays. I do apologize for that. But I appreciate everyone tuning in for what has been a nice back and forth so far this afternoon. Both teams definitely giving it their all here, and I'm very interested to see what we get for map number 2. I do believe, if I have things right, Skyscraper, Hideout, and Factory are where we're headed next. There we go. Update the score line for you so we know where we're going. I'll go ahead and give the players the ready as we do prep for that map number 2 on Hideout. I think Juice took a round or 2 against their opponent on Hideout in their first series. So maybe an opportunity for Juice to learn from that series, look back at that VOD, get a little bit of a what works, what doesn't, and put up a good solid challenge against Fruitality on this second map. We've seen big score swings as well from map to map, depending on what team starts on what side, and it does look like we are going to get Team Juice on the defense. So I'm going to go ahead and just, for the sake of sanity, adjust the scores manually. So you know that Fruitality took Skyscraper. It also looks like Fruitality waiting on one more to jump back into lobby, and then we should be underway with our second map. A quick shout out to everyone tuning in. If you are stopping by on YouTube, do please check this game out on X Stadium. It's an app you can download on the Quest or Quest 2, and you can watch this stream live inside of the VR headset in a giant movie theaters on a giant movie theater screen space with other friends. It's a really cool app. And if you are watching on X Stadium, a big shout out to you. We appreciate you stopping by and enjoying the VRML esports action. We're hoping to bring this to you regularly across the weekends of preseason and season 1 of Breachers, and obviously as we add more leagues on over the course of the back of 2023, you can look forward to more broadcasts from those leagues. So we have a lot to look forward to, honestly, with what we're working on behind the scenes, and obviously with the incredible growth we're seeing in the Breachers space. So do keep your eyes peeled on VRML and the VRML ecosystem, because it continues to grow and expand, and we're already sort of setting our eyes on 2024 with goals. So do be sure to get involved if you've been thinking about it. Like I said, you can do that by going to vrml.com/breachers or any one of the leagues that you want to join. We have several, ranging from Onward to Pavlov, which has PSVR 2 support. So if you do have a PSVR 2 and want to play competitively, you can. But a wide range of games, and like I said, new ones coming in the back half of this year, so do keep the eyes peeled for those. We're excited to announce them, but not quite yet. So you're just going to have to hold on and wait to see what is going to be coming down the pipeline. But you can expect the regular casting, broadcasting, and prize pool to go along with any league that VRML hosts. So always something to be competing for, and ultimately we really are just here to foster good, solid VR esport competition. So a big shout out to folks like X Stadium that do support us and are providing us the opportunity to go live alongside other sports like the NBA, NHL, games that are live in the X Stadium platform. So we really do appreciate them and their support. A shout out to the engineers and everyone that has been helping with the program and the partnership so far. And hopefully we can keep this rolling. But we are just waiting for, again, a fifth from Fruitality. I have no indication that we were going into a timeout, so I think we have. And it looks like they finally have their fifth. That's in on Fruitality. Frosty making sure everyone is ready before we do jump in to our second map. It looks like I've stalled long enough, and the hideout is underway. Buy phase coming in. 50 seconds. Both teams get to hash out a strategy on how they want to approach this objective. As I said earlier, Team Juice on the attack, on the defense. Fruitality on the attack. We've swapped sides effectively to start this map. And so it's an opportunity for Juice to show their defensive capabilities. Fruitality, I said saying Fruitality, I think. Fruitality, as I just realized it. Getting more than one chance to attack. Although that last offensive pistol round did come down to be a very close 1v1. So I got to wonder how confident Fruitality is really feeling off of that map 1 win. At least confident enough to dance. No respawn doing the Macarena. And the drone going to be coming in right away to help guide in No Spawn and Echo through this doorway. Make sure no one's tucked into the short corner, because sometimes there are players here inside the garage space ready and waiting for someone to push through. But the drone is camming, scooping through here. And will they spot Kalala Girl tucked in behind the fridge? Yes, it will. Kalala quickly destroys the drone, and the team comes barreling in through the doorways, through the windows, setting up the breach. Kalala peeks around, and No Spawn was there and waiting to catch the kill. Echo over the top actually finds it, but No Spawn takes most of the damage. Looks like one had a broken breaching charge, unsure, but they ultimately do breach the hatch into the gym. Bosch taking bullets as they tuck in behind the objective. Quinn just over the top, waiting for the drop down. The smoke comes in nicely as Spionin and No Spawn come flying through. No Spawn nearly goes down through the blind fire. Spionin holding a short angle. Quinn just needs to pop up, but doesn't. Spionin's there and catches one. There's the 1-2 tap over the top from Bosch. Frosty comes pushing in, and they're going to catch the shoulders of Bosch there. Cheese tries to retake, but they can't, and with 4 left alive, 2 barely, everyone taking damage except for Munden. Fruitality do take the pistol round. These early rounds, mostly pistols. I say that knowing that Spionin, after a couple of kills on the board, is able to buy in to the Vezin. Ultimately, it seems the team said, don't do that quite yet. As they sell that Vezin, which they can't essentially attach any attachments to because it is so costly. $2,900, I believe, or $2,950. And so if you only have $2,950, then you have nothing to put onto your Vezin. So it is a, I think, 17-round mag, 15-round mag, not very big, with no sights, just iron sights, no grip for stability. It's definitely not the same kind of weapon you'd want to buy into. It's just a couple of extra $100 to add those very essential attachments. Fruitality going to be taking the lobby here as their main approach. And the question is going to be, is the drone going to spot Kalala? And it does. Kalala, interestingly, rotates to the other side, catches one, has to reload before they're pinged, and can't get the double they were looking for. Still, though, catches one with a really nice rotation off of the drone. Really good job catching them off guard, and it's at least a 1-for-1 trade. Oh, Munden here, not aware that their head was just peeking over the top of the piano. Excuse me, ooh, not aware. As Munden catches that kill, swings to the other side to scoop another up in through the garage. They're going to be looking for Bosch's head, and they'll find it. Munden with a couple of big kills through the main entry point towards B, shuts them down. The plant comes in time for another 200 into the pocket of Fruitality, and they are looking very solid going into round 3. We should see full buys from both sides. Team Juice have saved enough to afford all of the utility and guns they need for round 3. Still, though, it doesn't look like they are going to be buying too heavily. Cheese, the only one picking up the Vezin because they can afford it, but it doesn't enable them for any more utility. Holding this big lobby area, very risky as well. Definitely going to get pushed. And I don't even think that Cheese is aware of how exposed they are to the window just to their right. Likely to be breached. Uncovered. And now the hatch also broken. And they're going to challenge Spionin, who will find that kill. Lobby is wide open. Kalala just underneath, maybe waiting to spring a trap up the stairs, which would be interesting. Actually, kind of a nice play. Could pay off if Kalala can make it work. No Spawn taking their time. Does finally push up. And there's the shots from Bosch over the top that actually catch the kill out. Kalala still slowly making their way up the stairs. May catch Frosty unaware. And there's the 1-2. Oh, Frosty snaps for the headshot. Shuts that down. Bosch able to clean it up. Also aware another one is peeking. They try to pop out, and Spionin shuts that down. 3 left alive for Fruitality. Team Juice catching some kills, impacting their economy nicely, honestly. So still not a terrible round on the eco for Team Juice. Now, round 4, a big one for them, as I do anticipate full buys across the board for everyone. Interestingly enough, Ooh seems to prefer the oral. You've seen them buy into that when it has come time for full buys. Also able to pick up a bunch of utilities, so we're seeing static emitters, proximity sensors, health syringes, trip mines, 3 Vezins, an Omen, and an Oral, all coming in on the defensive side. Vezins all around full utility for Fruitality, so it is our full buy round for both sides for round 4. That's how we've seen the economies kind of starting to shake out pretty regularly since the most recent update, nerfing those Cyclones. I suppose it was like this before the Cyclone nerf as well, to some degree, but we are just seeing a little bit more variety coming in. Frosty's going to leap over the ledge, following the drone, which will push through the door blocker. Scan through A, ultimately not seeing much of anything. Frosty catches Bosch up top, the door breached in through B. Garage wide open for them, and Spionin and Echo have control of B with the drone. Analyzing anything here. Ultimately, no one is home, and Quinn will catch Frosty trying to rotate towards A. Can they catch Echo? They can. Spionin's here waiting for Quinn to peek out again, and Quinn almost catches the third, but Spionin shuts that down. Does get pinged, and it's up to Kalala and Ooh as Ooh catches some big shots onto the back of Munden. Munden's going to peek out with the stealth, and they don't see Ooh on the short corner. The full buy round now into a 2v2. Spionin here and No Spawn on the outside gets shut down by Kalala. Spionin without EMP has to rotate back towards it on the outside of A, and Kalala is here and waiting. Knows they have EMP on the ground. Also sees a Vezin there as a choice for Ooh if they do want to rotate around and pick it up. But on the rotation, Spionin catches them out. Kalala alone. As the pings come in, they could absolutely blast through this door blocker and have an easy kill. Spionin breaches into the EMP, does pick it up. Kalala should see this. And Spionin should have heard those footsteps dropping down behind them. A big plant that's going to get their team 200 even if they lose. And Kalala going to try the retake onto the corner. Spionin doesn't hear it, and Kalala will find the shots, get the defuse, and finally get a point on the board for Team Juice ES. They'll go up 1-3. Their first round of the afternoon, but the biggest round, dare I say, of the map. All of these buys coming in from their team, they needed the 2,500 to set them up to some degree. As you'll see, not everyone, almost everyone, Bosch, the only one that can't buy into a Vezin and kit it out, but everyone can pick up weapons of choice. Nice utility, and should be another full buy round for both sides, as Fruitality had been saving off of those early wins. That 3-0 definitely enabling them to lose a round and still be comfortable. But I love to see that Team Juice, just after that one cast, has already really seemed to learn a lot about the economy phases of these rounds. They're focusing on the utility buys. I'm seeing far more utility placement from Juice than I did in their last rounds, and it ultimately is just a very different team. It's impressive to see the changes just over the course of a week. That's what I love about VRML. I really do feel that the matchmaking and honestly the casting helps these new teams develop, helps players that are new to the game learn and grow. And it ultimately speeds up the whole ecosystem of the game, in my opinion. Tooting my horn a little bit too much with VRML, but I love it. And I've seen this happen time and time again. Kalala here could spring a big trap if they so choose. Frosty is still, though, sitting back and droning. And so I don't think they can hear Kalala. But if the drone dies, then Frosty's going to eventually move. Oh, there's Frosty as they pop out. Kalala was not ready for that. Bosch tries to find the other frag, but Munden sitting up here and waiting. And a very patient Fruitality catches an over-aggressive Juice team trying to push into them. Now on objective, they have to hold things down. B is wide open, so there's full control there. Echo does push in as Oo fights them through the doorway, and a slice of health is available to them. I was wondering where Cheese Mod was, but now they're dead. And again, EMP is down, so they have to retake. Frosty holding a slice of an angle, and as soon as Oo peeks through it, Frosty finds the kill. Meanwhile, Quinn, hearing Echo running through the arcade space off of that audio transmitter, is going to pop up and catch one kill. 4 more to go. Spionin holding the short corner will catch that headshot, and Fruitality bite back. After suffering their first round loss, a commanding round 5. They go up 4-1 here on map 2, and an inch ever closer to the series win. Tough spot for Juice to be in now. They're going to have to eco here, but you can't. Because it is the last round before side swap, so they have to full buy into whatever they can. You actually do see a Vezin come in, a Cadillo, which, not great, but better than nothing. I almost feel like a RCP would be better than a Cadillo at this stage, especially with this map. How close quarters it is. I mean, all maps are really tight, but a Cadillo, the more of a marksman rifle, it feels like, than anything. Definitely going to be tough to utilize here in the short quarter. Munden buying everything. It's Christmas, the last round, and they have all the cash they need. It's a very different loadout coming in from team to team. They'll be able to drone first. Ultimately find that B is relatively clear. And no spawn is going to push in. Drone goes down. In the process, Echo finds Oo over the top as they're distracted by the drone. Bosch actually catches one with the RCP. Frosty trying to push through lobby. Spionin is here as well, but no spawn. Catches Quinn on the short corner. Breaching foam goes up. Echo reunites with the team, and the full push coming in towards B as Spionin goes down to Kalala. Bosch gets scooped up. It's a 1v3 as the EMP plant comes in. And Kalala alone yet again. They found themselves in this position several times so far this series where they are the last defender. But they have a Vezin in hand, and if you're going to 1v3, the Vezin can do it. Tough challenge is going to take back the EMP, but if they can, 2-4, they have a chance to bounce back and, again, take the map on their defensive rotation. I doubt Kalala is going to be ready for Munden to still be outside here. But Munden's not ready for Kalala, so that is 1 kill. No spawn, rotating back. And Kalala sees it, but can't find the shots. No spawn will pop him over the top, and still had Echo left alive for now round 6 to go into the hands of Fruitality. They go up 5-1, and we swap sides for a full economic reset. Round 7 kicks off, and it's time for Team Juice to go on the attack. A solid effort so far from Juice this afternoon as they've fought for these. Appreciate everyone stopping by, hanging out, and enjoying the action this afternoon. I was just taking a look at chat. I see a bunch of folks in there. Razzie, hi, it's me. Who else is in here? Echo 5-3, who's playing. They were in the earlier rounds. Voltron and everyone else, we appreciate you stopping by and enjoying the action here this afternoon. If you are hanging out and catching the VOD back as well, thank you so much for tuning in. Please be sure to share it around, show your friends. Let them know you're playing in a competitive esports league with a nice little broadcast over the top. Already a kill from 1 as Bosch goes down on their attempted entry. A fight on the stairs goes the way of Munden. Ooh, droning around for any sort of information. And ultimately, Kalala, the farthest one in. Frosty's going to peek and not be ready, but does snap up with the Cyclone to catch the kill. Echo catches another, and it's up to Ooh alone on objective. Echo's there, and there's a nice shot. Another one rotating around. No spawn goes down. It's a 1-2 punch. Frosty's low on HP. So is Munden. It could have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Ooh there if they had been able to connect on those shots, but the reload costing them time, and ultimately Fruitality taking the pistol round and going up 6-1 here on map 2. See what Juice can do with very little cash. Have to full buy in here. You gotta go. Can't afford to save, and it looks like they are going to. So they're going to really try and anticipate that Fruitality is not going to full buy here. And that it is going to be essentially a pistol v pistol series. But Spionin does buy into the Oral. Smart, because there are a couple of SMGs coming in. Or at least one, I suppose, from Quinn with the Viper. What? Oh no, what even happened on that breach? As soon as that explosion came through, Frosty goes down. Juice get absolutely denied on their entry. And now it's Quinn and Kalala alone, trying to get rid of a very aggressive Fruitality defense on the outside of this gym. Ooh, and Spionin gonna peek out. Oral in hand. Can't catch one. Doesn't even get the shots through. Quinn with a big kill there. As no spawn peeks out, Kalala does get some good damage down. Quinn could pop out with that Viper, but they get pinched. No spawn and Echo 5-3 from the window. Find the kills, and Fruitality take map number 2 and the series. A solid win over the top from them with the 2 maps in their pocket. I tried to get the info so we could jump in and see how the other series was going, but couldn't get that, so we will stick around for map number 3, see how Team Juice does on Factory. Very different environment, obviously. Each of these maps shaking things up on the entry points, the setups, everything. But so far, it's been Fruitality doing a very solid job of keeping the wins in their pockets. And it looks like we are going to have Fruitality starting on defense to kick things off, with Juice on the attack for our next map. We're going to jump right into it. No time wasted. Both teams wanting to get through the rest of this series. Frosty and the Fruitality team making a fruit smoothie this afternoon with the Juice. Pistol rounds to start things off here on Factory, though. And again, Fruitality will be the ones starting on defense. So we'll go ahead and swap those sides so you can know what team is what. Score lines are swapped, though. Maps 1 and 2 going into Fruitality. Oh, and look at this little spot from Frosty as they try to tuck you into that upper little ledge. We saw that spot get taken up yesterday to very good effect. They do fall off, though, and are now kind of stuck out in the open. Ooh goes down. Echo quick peeks. They don't find the kill, but Bosch does get scooped up over the top. G's going to back out of this challenge here. Get out of the window, get a little bit more cover. Quinn actually catches Frosty trying to get too aggressive, and it is 3v3. No spawn slowly crawling. They'll spot each other, but not before no spawn gets a couple of bullets into the side of Kalala. Quinn with Taurus in hand can one-tap heads. Cheese with 2 taps with the Spectral. Spionin on this tight corner. They're going to see the elbow. The shots come in. Spionin peeks out with the Cyclone. Can't connect on the shots. It's a 2v2. Quinn pops out, tries to find the one-tap for Munden, but Munden already there with the Cyclone. And now Cheese going to have to peek this corner with Munden here on the short side. No real easy entry. They catch the head on the no spawn. No HP. Flash in hand. Would be great to flash in here and catch Munden blind, but they don't. Munden there, ready and waiting with the Cyclone. Will connect, and Fruitality will take their first point of map 3. Juice have come so close so many rounds today against Fruitality. Things could have been so different. They were just able to clutch up these final moments, which is, again, a very different approach, a very different perspective. Granted, the scoreline very much into the hands of Fruitality over the course of this series, but Juice have been fighting, again, much better, in my opinion. I mean, honestly, 2 or 3 times more coordinated and more knowledgeable than they were just a week ago. So I love to see a team like this improving, and I'm very interested to see how good they can get by the end of preseason, because that's what the preseason's all about. It's about training. It's about prepping for Season 1, because then, Season 1, the prizes are on the line. You want to compete for the top of that ladder, and so you want to be in the best shape you can get. So as long as you can continue to improve, it'll set you up for a nice start at the very least to Season 1. And Juice, well, we'll see if they can get another round on the board here in Map 3. As Fruitality are ready and waiting. Frosty almost finds the head of Ooh. Spion and shotgun blasting Quinn down as Echo gets aggressive through the doorway. Cheese Mod. Sometimes you'll have one covering from the 3rd floor, watching that window specifically. And if Cheese does decide to push down, they could be vulnerable to another peek out. Several windows, really. As Echo is here, the nade is in hand. It's a great flash onto Echo. Cheese tries to push it, but look at that, another window. And no spawn pops out to catch the kill. Bosch, essentially in the heart of the lion's den. 5 alive for Fruitality. But Kalala and Bosch are here and trying to push in towards A. Definitely going to be quite a long road without any breaching charges. Plenty of breachable walls, but I don't believe they have any foam. Actually, Bosch does have some. Little wave to Munden. As Kalala works forward here. Munden maybe catching another kill out. Kalala spots them. They go for the fight, and Munden wins that exchange. Peeks out to see if Bosch is there, and Bosch just a touch behind. Opens a hole for the enemy to push through. Not ideal, and ultimately Fruitality are going to take the 2nd round. I think, in my opinion, they looked the best on, obviously, Hideout. Skyscraper and Factory proving to be difficult on the attacking rounds. They're really only going to get more challenging as No Spawn is going to be dropping a trip mine here, and is very vulnerable out of this doorway to nades, simply because you can nicely roll them out here, and there's so many people set up either on windows or the doorway approach. Ultimately, no one here for Team Juice, so if there is any utility tossed, it won't be to much effect. Oh, I see Juice down another player there as Ooh has had to drop again. Vezin in the hands of Cheese, though, and they are leading with the EMP in hand. Had shots coming in from Kalala, it seems. Frosty almost pushing up for the... Trying to get aggressive. It does drop down off of that ledge, though. Doesn't end up pushing up towards Bosch, and now there's 2. Kalala almost had the angle on the Frosty, but not quite. Two v 5, everyone with rifles in hand for Fruitality. This round 3 not going the way that this duo was hoping for now, as Bosch and Kalala try and work their way towards objective. Aquila very vulnerable, is stuck here behind the tank. Bosch going to try and draw a bit of a distraction, detonating in and pushing towards objective. The only trouble is, of course, is if Echo decides to rotate around for a flank, which is what Kalala Girl's trying to watch out for. And Echo ultimately finds the kill. Spionin takes down Bosch on objective. 3 rounds into the hands of Fruitality. They took map 1 7-0. They took map 2 7-1. They are barreling towards another 7-0 in map 3. As a reminder, we are into the early weeks of the preseason, and so we do have these sort of unknown matches. I like to jump on the games that I see people voting for, so I know both Team Juice and Fruitality wanted to see this game get broadcast this afternoon because it was one of the more voted matchups today. It actually was the most voted on matchup to watch this afternoon. And as a reminder, we are set around scheduled times to go live to X Stadium, so we try and pick matches that are scheduled for 6 p.m. PST Saturday and 12 p.m. PST Sunday. So if you want to enhance the probability of your team being broadcast on Saturday or Sunday, schedule your matches at 6 p.m. PST Saturday or 12 p.m. PST Sunday. That will actually make it so it's easier for someone like me to put up games on X Stadium. So do be sure to sign up around those times, again, if you want an enhanced chance of getting cast. Ooh, and Bosch peeks up to find one. No spawn there on the stairs. Could be a double with the oral. I don't know that Bosch heard no spawn, but no spawn is tucked into the short corner. Static emitters through that door, through that window if Bosch does try and push through, and Frosty with a Vezin, ultimately waiting for them to try and break in. And look at that, it's down to Kalala Girl and a bot. Juice now down to just 3 players. And unless Kalala Girl can clutch here, I think we will end up wrapping up this broadcast. But we'll have to see what Kalala can do if they can get a point on the board. Door blocker right in their way, and yeah, it's good defense. She not happy that the door blocker is there in their way. It's a good thing they pushed out because there's a quick push towards them. No spawn comes flying out of that door blocker. Windows get broken behind, and Frosty finds the kill. Fruitality go up 4-0 here on our final map, and I don't think we need to watch the final rounds here. It's going to be likely a couple more into the pockets of Fruitality. 2 bots onto the side of Team Juice as they've lost 2 of their players in this final map, and I can't blame them. It's been a hard-fought series, but ultimately Fruitality proving they are the more experienced team, and frankly, they had one more match under their belt. You know, they took that challenge in the first week so that they could get another game into their... And now they're coming off a big win. Fruitality is going to get a good challenge next week in Week 3. And that's what I'm really looking forward to is these Week 3 matchups. So do be sure to tune in next weekend, 6 p.m. PST Saturday, 12 p.m. PST Sunday on X Stadium and YouTube. And also subscribe to YouTube as we have broadcasts almost every day throughout the course of the week leading up to the weekend. Great games are expected next week, in particular with Weeks 3 and 4 coming up. So do be sure to keep your eyes on the channel because it is going to be a solid back and forth. And a quick shout out to our sponsors, Arma, with these fantastic jerseys. ProTube VR with the MagTube stocks, offering fantastic stabilization for your aim in game with the stock mount. I highly recommend you pick one up. Also, HyperX with the HyperX Quadcast S and the Cloud 2s. We really do appreciate their support. X Stadium for putting us on their platform alongside other fantastic sports that you can watch in VR. And that's it. Also, Triangle Factory for providing us with Breachers, a fantastic competitive back-and-forth shooter. Again, looking forward to Week 3. Starts Monday, likely having a broadcast Monday night, so do keep the eyes peeled. But that'll be it for me here this afternoon. My name is Ben Nightfire with 2 E's. Until next time, stay classy.
Preseason of VRML Breachers is brought to you by Triangle Factory.